Are live. Rory, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, good deal. So welcome everybody. This is Josh Gwynn. I'm with a company called Redline Digital Consulting, and I have my good friend and client, Rory Breland with Blackstone Partners online. So Rory, you can hear me okay? You're good to go?
I can hear you well.
All right, and what we're going to be covering today is the top three critical steps that real estate agents need to take to triple their leads from Facebook. So we're going to be talking and jumping into a presentation where we're going to show you those three steps, and then we're also going to jump into some live examples of what those things are and how they work. So let me go ahead, and what I'll do is I'm going to share my screen. So you should be able to see a presentation. And Rory, can you see that?
There it is. Got it.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just jump in here and get started. So this is the three critical steps for real estate agents to triple your Facebook leads. And my name is Josh Gwynn. Again, my company is Redline Digital Consulting. And just a little bit about my background. I consult with companies that range from startups to 300 million plus in sales. I'm also a licensed agent in Louisiana. I've been a licensed agent in Louisiana since 2006, and I'm an online instructor on social media marketing. I've taught over 9,800 students now online, and I convinced my client and good friend of mine, Rory Breland, to come online with me, and I'm going to let him go ahead and introduce himself. He's the broker owner of Blackstone Partners. So Rory, take it away.
All right. Thanks, Josh. As Josh mentioned, I am the broker owner of Blackstone Partners. I've been in the real estate business a little over 16 years now. Over that time, I've done a little over $70 million in personal transactions within the residential industry. I came over from a franchise and started this business in 2007. And the reason I'm here today is that over the time of the business changing and my personal changes within the brokerage, making some mistakes and also identifying where in social media I could have a greater effect. And Josh has been tremendous in helping us to do that and learning the things not to do and learning the things that we need to do. And so through lots of trial and error, we have identified a lot of those, narrowed them down to three critical things here. And so we want to share that with you, along with some of the results that we've had, say, year over year since implementing these. So we're excited about doing that, and I appreciate Josh asking us to be a part of it.
Oh, yeah. So and one of the things Rory kind of touched on, and I want to reiterate, is that we're going to actually jump into his dashboard for his website and show you how effective these things are at generating traffic and leads to your website. So we're going to show you the proof of that in his analytics from his dashboard. So you'll actually get to see that. So just wanted to cover what you're going to learn today. So we're going to talk about the top three critical things that any agent can do to triple their leads from Facebook. We're going to talk about what types of Facebook posts guarantee more leads. And there's a very specific way to do Facebook posting that works exceptionally well to get leads and where you actually become a resource to potential customers when you're marketing yourself. And then there's another way, which is the way most people do Facebook posts for real estate, which is not nearly as effective. We're going to show you the difference. We're going to talk about a simple tweak you can make to your Facebook posts that will increase your leads today. And Rory is going to talk to you a little bit about how to write the perfect ad copy for your posts. So now we want to do this also. We want to offer you a bonus for staying to the end of the presentation. So if you stick it out to the end of the presentation, and we're going to be on for about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how long Q&A goes, we're going to offer you a 30-day checklist that Rory put together for how to take and convert leads into clients. So one part of this process is getting leads from your social media or from your advertising. It's turning traffic into leads, which is what we're going to show you how to do today on this presentation. Well, Rory's going to talk in this 30-day checklist about how to convert leads into clients, and then how to convert those clients into sales. And he actually included quite a bit of his email templates that he uses for converting leads into clients that you can just copy and paste. So this is about what, Rory, about a 5-page checklist?
Yeah, I've tried to really condense it down so that it's as much information in as tight a space as possible. So I've got it to 3 pages, but it's packed. And for sure, there's some things beyond this. This is considered to be kind of a quick start list so that you're using some effective ad copy and some good techniques there. But we can go on with it, and we'll talk some more about how to get involved with things beyond this list as we get a little deeper into the webinar.
Yeah. All right. So without further delay here, and actually I'm gonna give you a little bit about my backstory, kind of how I got to where I am. I mentioned I've been a real estate agent in Louisiana since 2006. So I started my real estate career in 2006. I was a commercial real estate agent is where I started. And I had a couple of really good years in real estate when I started. And then 2008 happened. And everybody knows what happened in 2008. And it became really, really difficult to get deals done, especially on the commercial side, because banks froze up their lending. And it wasn't that I was making no money in real estate, but I went from making really good money to making only decent money. And then deals were taking forever to do, again, especially on the commercial side. And that got really frustrating when you would work a deal for 6 or 8 months, and then the banks would just decide they didn't want to lend on the deal anymore when they had already, pre-approved the buyer or something of that nature. So at about 2010, I had another business that I was, I had a fitness franchise that I sold with a business partner. And after that, I just did not have the energy to do real estate at the time anymore because things were going so poorly. And so I left real estate and started a social media consulting company, because that's what I was doing with my fitness franchise. That was one of my responsibilities. And that was when social media marketing was just kind of starting out, just starting to become a thing. And so I had to learn it for that business. So I knew other businesses could benefit from it. So I started doing that as a consulting business. Well, the third client that I called on was a $600 million automotive group that wanted to hire me. And I knew that going with that company, that they would spend a ton of money on my education, on social media marketing education. And so I went and worked for them. And for 2 years, I was their director of marketing, where I handled all of their social media and digital marketing for 13 stores. And so they did, in fact, spend a ton of money. In fact, while I was with them over that about a 1.5 year period, they spent over 150 grand on Facebook advertising alone, which was all me. I was the whole department for that, for a $600 million company. And so I like to joke that I feel like I got an Ivy League education in social media marketing during that time period. But the whole time I was there, I was still a real estate agent. I was still doing, the odd deal here and there. And what I was learning, I just knew would be super valuable to real estate, because buying a car and buying a house, it's not that they're exactly similar, but they're large scale purchases where the person who sells it makes a good deal of commission on each sale. And so I just knew this would be effective in real estate. So when I left that automotive group and started Redline Digital Consulting, one of the markets that I wanted to target was real estate, because I was familiar with it. So sorry if that explanation was too long and a little rambling, but I wanted to kind of show you how I got here. So anyway, now without further rambling, we're going to jump into the 3 critical things that you need to do as a real estate agent to triple your leads on Facebook in 30 days. So the 3 critical things are, I just passed them up. 3 critical things are: number 1, you need to use Facebook advertising. And I'm realizing now that I misspelled advertising. So thanks for catching that, Rory.
You got it. I was advertising. I just see that. Easy fix.
I wanted to be as brief as possible, and so I just left letters out. So anyway, number 1 is to use paid Facebook advertising. Now, in order to do this now, this used to not be the case, but in order to use paid Facebook advertising now, you have to have a Facebook business page. You can't use paid advertising on Facebook through a personal page. So you have to have a business page. So that's something that Facebook has changed fairly recently. The second thing that you need to do is use a website or tool that captures lead information. So at a minimum, you need to capture your website or landing page needs to be able to capture a customer's name and email address so you can start the follow-up process. And we're going to show you an example of this on Rory's website for his brokerage. And the third critical step is to post list posts with great ad copy. And we're going to show you an example of what we mean by a list post, and Rory's going to talk a little bit about how to write great ad copy. So without further delay, let's go ahead, and I'm going to jump out of this screen and I'm going to jump over into the Facebook page for Blackstone Properties. So Rory, did you have anything you want to add to this before we really got rolling?
No, this is good. I want to touch on some things as you get into some ad copy and list posts, as you mentioned, but no, we're on a good track.
Okay. So yeah, so the number one thing we talked about, the first critical step is to use Facebook advertising. In order to do that, you have to have a business page. This is Blackstone Partners business page. So this is Rory's brokerage, the Facebook page for their business that we market through. One of the differences you'll notice is when you have a business page, this button here is a like button instead of an add friend button. So, you know, one of the main differences between a Facebook business page and a Facebook personal page is your customers and clients can follow you as a business without having to approve them as a friend. And so what it does for you is it gives you the ability to reach well beyond your circle of influence. So most people on their Facebook page, they're friends with their friends and family. It gives you the ability to reach well beyond your circle of influence by using Facebook advertising. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down here, and we're going to talk about this ad. So here's an example right here. This ad is one that we use to promote a list post. And what we talk about when we talk about the types of posts that you need to do, we're gonna talk about how to set up a list post. And a list post is basically what most agents do when they promote a property is they copy the link to their property in MLS or on their company's website, and then they post it into Facebook. So it's just that one particular property. And they put, usually the information up here is the same information that is the description of the property in MLS. And so what that does, if you think about what that does from the perspective of a potential buyer, is if a potential buyer sees this ad right here in their news feed, and it's on a specific property, then if they're not interested in that specific property, then they pay no more attention to that ad. So they scroll right past it, and your ad has really no effect on them. So what we talk about is when we say using a list post is notice how this post is price reductions in Baton Rouge. So check out the top 12 luxury homes for sale with recent price reductions. Call Rory at, and it's got his cell phone number, or see all 12 on our website here, and it's got this link. So when you click on this link, you'll notice that not only is this not a single property post, it's talking about check out the 12 top luxury homes with recent price reductions. So if a potential customer is in the market for a property, they would be inclined to look at this even if this particular property was not what they were interested in, because they know that there's 11 more that they can take a look at that all have had recent price reductions. So this has been a hugely impactful ad in terms of getting traffic to Rory's real estate website, as well as getting those people to become leads. So I'm gonna click through as if I were a potential customer and seeing this ad. So if I was interested in taking a look at these luxury homes with recent price reductions, I would click on this link, and it's going to take me into Rory's website. And now you notice that when we set up this ad, there were 12. Now there's 10 homes for sale. So either a couple were taken off the market or put under contract or sold. So now it has 10 homes. But this person can scroll through all 10 of these homes that have had recent price reductions. So if you think, hopefully you're with us on the value of that type of post versus a single property post. So your reach in terms of potential customers that would be interested in something like that is a lot bigger than if you were posting a specific property where people could decide in a split second whether or not they were interested in taking a look at that at all. So now, Roy, do you have something to add?
No, just a couple of, well, yes, a couple of key points there that make sure everyone understands, because this is pretty broad reach here, that we're using a IDX feed and an IDX compatible website to display this information on, which is pretty common. It's been around for quite a while. And I think most agents probably have this tool available to them either from their broker or from their local board of realtors. They can pay for that feed, but that's what we're using to get these multiple properties in here so that we have a place for people to land and view them.
So yeah, that's a very good point, and we're going to talk about. We mentioned that one of the critical steps is having a website that can capture lead information. So I'm going to show you what that means in just a second. So let's say there's a customer that's scrolling through here, and they click on this property. Maybe they're interested in this one, and they look at it and they look at the pictures, and maybe they're not interested in this exact property. So they back out of it, and they want to look at another one on this list. So scroll down here, maybe they're interested in this one. And they click into it. And they're in here looking for some information. And then all of a sudden, this pops up. So this is what we're talking about when we mean a website or a landing page that can capture customers' lead information. So this type of website, which in this case is a market leader website, gives people, once they click a certain number of clicks into the website, it prompts them to put in their name, first and last, and email address to continue looking at photos on this property. So once they do that, they continue browsing through this list of properties, and maybe they call Rory, maybe they don't, but now their information has been captured and they go into Rory's follow-up system. So they're going to get an email from him welcoming them to their account, to his website, letting them know that if he can help them in any way, to give him a call, and then they're going to start getting regular updated listings from Rory. So that makes this particular type of website extremely valuable. And what it also does, I'm going to jump back out here, is it makes this type of post extremely valuable, because not only do you give somebody an incentive to check out this list of properties, but then when they click through, they become a lead, and you can start the follow-up process with them. That has been able to generate, I think it was an additional 60 leads in 1 month. Was that May of 14 versus May of 15, Rory? Is that right?
Yeah, it is. It more than doubled just year over year there from applying this technique. So it's, and I'll share some of those analytics just to reveal some of the effectiveness here.
Let me make another point about this, and then we'll show the analytics. But one of the things that you'll notice is Rory's real estate Facebook page has 831 likes. And it used to be on Facebook that likes were super important, that because whenever you post something on Facebook, you reach a percentage of the people that have liked your page. Well, now what Facebook has done in an effort to get people to spend money and businesses to spend money on advertising with them is they've limited what's called the organic reach, to where when you post something, it used to be that all 831 people would see it, or at least a large majority of those people. Now, only about 5% of whatever the number of likes or your number of friends is will see any post that you do. So Facebook has kind of made it a pay-to-play platform. So if you want to reach a number of people, you have to spend money to do that on ads. But the big advantage of this is, again, remember, 831 likes. Look at the reach on this post. So we targeted a specific demographic of people that we wanted to show this post to. We tried to make sure that it was people that were likely to be in the market or have friends in the market for a property. We reached 7,000 people with this post. So we reached far more than the number of likes that he has on this page. So that is the real power of using paid Facebook advertising, is it expands your reach well beyond your circle of influence. Here's another thing that I want you to notice. When you look at these numbers, the organic reach was 144 people. So out of 831 likes, he reached 144 people organically, which means without paying for to show his ad to those people. The paid reach, however, is $6,873 on paid reach. So you reach significantly more people by using an ad, and that's what makes it one of the most effective strategies that you can use. Another thing, so we talked about using a list post. This is just one example of a list post, and Rory, I know I'm going to blank on the types of list posts that we've used, but we've used a lot of different list posts. It doesn't have to be the 12 luxury home price reductions. So you can target a specific neighborhood, which is something else that we've done very effectively. If you target a specific neighborhood that is a high demand neighborhood in your market, an example in our market would be the Country Club of Louisiana, where the properties start at about $500,000 and up. You can target specific neighborhoods and say, here are the top 20 luxury homes for sale in the Country Club of Louisiana. So that's what we mean when we say a list post. It doesn't have to be specific to price reductions. It can be a neighborhood that is a high demand neighborhood. So anybody that's interested in that neighborhood or potentially interested in the neighborhood is going to click through to this link and look at that list of properties. Rory, what other ones have we done? We've done golf course homes. We've done properties with swimming pools.
Yes, those are two excellent ones. I think the market type that you're in has a lot to do with what becomes an effective list post. For example, here, the market that we're in is in South Louisiana, and we're in a service area that is around 500,000 in population. Our median transaction, let's say, is $250,000. There are approximately 2,500 licensees in our service area, and a little over $5,000 units sell in the last year. So, I mean, market size may tell you one thing, price ranges, and where the demand lies in your area. If you're in a more I guess lightly populated or densely populated area, being a location geographically close to somewhere, close to a school, close to an employer, on the water, maybe it's a retirement community. It's a number of things that could drive this. What you're picking as a list. In our quick start guide, I do have some examples that we have used. Golf courses are definitely there. Swimming pools are there. We had some that were just simply our broker's choice, or our unique deals that we found just based on price. We thought they were exceptional. Homes with a certain square footage. You're certainly pointing to a unique group of people when you begin to do this. And I think that's the real effort there. That's the real objective, is to try and get away from, here is a house I have for everyone to see. I hope you like it. Let me know if you do, which is sort of the approach typical on a Facebook single property post. But rather, you're trying to have someone read the post and identify with it. And by clicking the link, they're raising their hand and saying, I am part of this group. And so it makes that lead that much better for you, because they were attracted based on a specific scrubbed down content, is what I refer to it as. And it's way more effective. I think that this also lends itself to you being viewed as a resource. If two real estate agents are posting on Facebook, and let's say they're equal producing agents, equal capabilities, and one of them says, here's a home I have for sale, and the other one says, I have the 7 best best price reduction, or the 7 best homes in this community, or the 2 hottest deals of the day, their content seems more valuable, even though it's the exact same content. So you think about what you're trying to accomplish in writing ad copy. You want to be a resource. And so I would say how frequently you post and how scrubbed down your content is what positions you or brands you as that resource. Another purpose for ad copy is to maybe brand you as a producer or a provider within a certain area. And that can be outside of someone who's immediately looking for it. So using Josh's example of the Country Club, if I do a weekly post of Country Club properties, even the people that are not shopping to live there right now are starting to adopt my brand, that I'm a person who markets those types of homes. And so this is a fantastic way to penetrate a new market. If you're a brand new agent and you don't have the position within what's a real desirable market to sell in, and so you're looking for that angle, this is a great way to do that. You might have to try and break into a new market that maybe your brokerage hasn't served that area as well, and so you're trying to expand a little bit and get outside of where you're currently served. So either situation is really what you're trying to identify, so that you know what kind of ads, what kind of copy you want to write, and just know the purpose behind it. Josh, what you pointed out here, I'll have several elements in there that I think are key, and you mentioned one, and that is just copying and pasting what you put into MLS. I would say that people tend to get overly detailed and way too specific. It's too rich in the number of detailed items in a post. And so they want to let you know what the floor is made of, what this is, what that is. And the idea there is that people are going to engage me here on the Facebook platform and write comments and so forth. And I think that's more of a personal approach, where you're used to posting things on Facebook and you're looking for people to respond to you on that platform. Understand that the purpose of this ad copy is to drive people to a website where you have a valuable tool there for capturing information, keeping up with them, whether that's a CRM or some other manual means, but that's the purpose. So there needs to be enough content there that causes them to react to it, to raise their hand and say, I am this person, I am looking in this area, so that you have a higher quality lead and a more predictable lead on the other side of it. Josh, if it's possible, I'll share just some of the successes that we've had in doing this. If I could, tell me when I can share my screen, and I'll pull over some of the analytical information that we have. Josh, you with me?
Sorry, I think I muted my microphone there. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, there you are.
All right.
All right.
Good. All right.
Can I share my screen here, Josh?
Yeah. So I'm not sharing mine anymore, so you can jump in and share yours.
Okay.
You're going to talk about some analytics and some show some stats.
Sure am. So
let me just reiterate while Rory's pulling his screen up what he said. You don't want to get too text heavy on an ad because when you get too text, it's on social media. There's so much noise. There's so much content. There's so many posts that if you put a post out there that is very text heavy, people just aren't going to read it. They just aren't. What captures attention in social media ads particularly is a high quality image and video. So what your objective should be is to get an image, and I recommend using a professional photo of your listing that was taken by a professional photographer, and getting the best image that you can that's going to grab the most attention, because that will grab people's attention that will then read your post, and your post has a really strong ad copy with a call to action and contact information, and then they're going to take that and they're going to go into either your website or they're going to give you a call, and that is going to generate the lead. So, and it sets you apart. Again, Rory mentioned this, and we've talked about this a couple of times. You want to try to be a resource for your customers, because if you become a resource and they're constantly exposed to you as a resource, then they're going to come back to you. And when it's time, if they're not ready to start shopping for a home yet, when it's time to start shopping for one, they remember you as being a resource, so you are top of mind with them. So
that's excellent. That's excellent. Let's see here if I got this right, Josh. So can you see my screen?
I can.
Okay.
Oh, wait. It's switching back and forth to me, so I think you need to maybe, is there an option to share with everyone? Have you clicked that?
No. There, now I am.
Okay. Now I see yours and it's not switching back to me. So okay, go for it.
So this right here, as Josh mentioned, we're using a market leader site. There's several vendors that provide lead capture software. And of course, you have other options if you're not using one of these right now. But just to show you what we're currently serving in this, with this software, is just under 4,000 contacts that we've acquired over some time with using these methods. I'm going to go into some of our website analytics here and give you a bit of the performance that we're getting from these ads and from this methodology. Looking for our last 90 days here. So what this is a list of our referral links, and that's simply the websites that are driving visitors to our page and generating leads for us. As you look through here, you'll notice that through these top 10 or so ads, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 of those are actually, and those 4 are 4 of the top 5. I'm just now noticing that, Josh.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man. 4
of the top 5 ads for us are coming from our paid Facebook advertising. You'll notice the volume of visitors, and I'm gonna say that's 130 or so leads that have come in just from those resources. We consider somebody a lead when we're actually able to, when we receive their request to use our resource, to use our site there. And as we start to talk about lead conversion, as we take these leads and we get them to engage with us on a personal communication level, we figure those people to be converted in that, they may be on a very long sales cycle. They may be looking to buy a home, several months down the road. I think that's been the trend in our industry over the recent years, is that cycle has gotten longer. And so catching them way out ahead of that sales cycle has been very critical for us. And so we're using this as a method to catch them when they're very early on, establish that relationship, rapport, and create value as a resource. And they ultimately use us for buying their home. We're going to talk about an upcoming course that we have that's available to you that really is going to dive deep into this. And I've touched on this in our 30-day quick start guide again that you'll get today. But it will include some templates for how to approach these folks. I'll tell you, there's many of these systems that are out there have some automatic responders and drip campaigns that come with them, and you need to really customize those. Be careful of some of the ones. They're not. We have not found them to be the best for creating engagement through your website. So we've got some templates that are great replacements for that, or maybe they're similar to what you're already using, but that we've had the best success with. And we're going to share those with you along with the methods that we use for writing ad content as we're discussing. And I'm certain that you're going to experience much of the same success that we're having in generating more visitors, more leads, and more transactions from it. We couldn't be more excited about it. So I appreciate really just having this opportunity to be an example for Josh and what we've accomplished with this. So we're thrilled about it, and I know if you follow this, you're going to reap similar results. So I just wanted to touch on those things, Josh. If I'll pass it back to you.
Well, yeah, let me just mention before you jump out of that is notice that even though Facebook is for the top 5, Google Organic is number 2. So if you think about what that means and look at the difference in number between in the number of visitors between Facebook and Google Organic, which is in second place in terms of the traffic. It's a massive difference. So if you're waiting on organic traffic from people going into Google and searching homes for sale in your market, you're going to be waiting a long time to generate the number of leads that you can do from getting creative and doing these types of Facebook advertising campaigns. It's very hard for an individual agent or even a smaller brokerage to compete with. Now you have Trulia, Zillow, Realtor.com, and some of these huge websites are going to take up all of those first page rankings. And if there's any left over on the first page of Google that people don't go to, 70% of people that do a search in Google click on one of the top 3 results. So if you're not in the top 3 results, you're divvying up the remaining 30% of traffic that scrolls down past that. So, it's very, very difficult for an individual agent or a smaller brokerage company that's not one of the major ones in the town to compete on organic traffic. It just doesn't work anymore. It used to work and it doesn't anymore. So you have to get proactive and be using paid ads. Google paid ads are very expensive. The cost per click is going to be a lot higher than what Facebook ads are. And chances are, when you're using these strategies that we're talking about, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the premium training course that Rory and I put together, when you're using the strategies from that, you're going to be in the top few percent of people that are even using those strategies. In our market, it's pretty much nobody else in the real estate market is using these strategies like we are. So I just wanted to kind of mention that because I just think that's hugely significant when you start talking about that much traffic and that many leads coming from one source that's not organic traffic.
No, that's excellent. You just made a great point, Josh, and that's that the large, I guess, third parties that are out there that are trying to compete in the same space of generating leads. Of course, they're out there doing that so they can turn around and sell them to the real estate agents. This is really intended to be a much better replacement of that, a way more cost-effective replacement of that, and so this is applicable to a brand new agent, trying to break into a new market. The most number of contacts that you have early on that you're able to reach out to, follow up with, is critical in your ability to get some early success in the business. So I think this certainly applies to that agent. Existing agents that are doing some of this type of advertising, maybe they do their own Facebook ads and they're spending some time doing it. You need to spend your time doing real money-making activity. And so if you're not doing this in the most effective way possible, then you're probably spending too much time doing it. So you want to improve that time that you are spending on Facebook posting to do it as well as you possibly can. And then it goes on to the seasoned agent that maybe has delegated this off. They may very well have an assistant. I actually find that a lot of the people that are less effective on this platform are very seasoned agents. They've got an assistant or some sort of associate there in the office that they've passed this to, and they probably assume that because that person spends a lot of time on Facebook that they're very good at it, but yet they're not doing this. So in this case, you're paying someone or somewhere, you're paying for the person to be doing a job for you. And I would say it's critical that if you are doing that, if that is an expense for you, then you want to get the most out of what you're spending there. And that person needs to be up on what they should be doing. And so in all cases, it applies to agents at every level. And I think that if you're not doing it this way, then you've obviously got some room for growth. And we're going to walk you through how to do that step by step.
Yep. Very, very, very good points. It gets back to focusing on what you're good at. And, agents, real estate agents are good at taking a potential buyer, converting them to a client, and then helping them find a home. A lot of agents are not as good at the consistency of social media marketing. And it really does require a lot of consistency. And that's where people fall down, is they have a page and they say they're on one of these social media platforms and they've posted once or twice this month. And you really need to post every day on these platforms, because it's gotten to the point where there's so much traffic and there's so much noise that if you're being a resource and posting regular on a consistent basis, people are going to remember you and they're going to associate you with these neighborhoods and with this profession. So not sure where I was going with that point, but
no, that's good. You may want to stop sharing the screen so we can pull the slideshare back in there.
Oh yeah, okay.